It's your boy Swift. Street Fame, another edition of Cut the Shit, the podcast. We're here with a special guest. This is a good edition right here because this one that I've been wanting to put into the mix for a minute now. And we got him here. I'm in here with my man, NJ Soup, #1 promoter in Jersey. I'm telling you, like, the parties ain't a party if he's not a part of it. Dig me. Get what I'm saying. We here. We gonna talk. We gonna chop it up. We gonna go back because not only is he a figure in the hood, but he's also a friend. And you know, I know a lot about this guy, and this guy is really doing a lot of big things. He's come from this big to being this big. If you get what I'm saying, like, so what I want to say is welcome.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking out the time to chop it up with me. We gonna take it back because, you know, after the show is the after party. So we gonna go to the show. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is we gonna go back. We're gonna take it back because you're a big figure from your hood. You know what I'm saying? You always showed some type of leadership. You always was that one that everybody would follow. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is not like that. You know what I'm saying, my brother? Like, everybody is not like that. Everybody can't say, all right, we're going to do this, and then everybody going to follow. It don't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be that person that really attracts people to your personality. You know, you attract people to what you're doing. You get that attention. Like, your energy is crazy. And I just want to know, like, where did that energy come from?
It really, to be honest with you, it was just a part of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It came from when I was little. It was just a drive that I had. 8, 9 years old, lemonade stand in front of my house, selling lemonades, working at the corner store, working bagging groceries at Western Beef. Working at the arcade, this all when I was like 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. Right. And it was just like, I just always, you know, looked at my grandmother. My grandmother used to work so hard, and I just always wanted to just do something for her. You know what I'm saying? And just that drive and just wanting to have my own, I don't know where it came from. It was just in me. You know what I'm saying? That grind was just in me, man, since I was a kid. And everybody's always say, even the lady who owned the store I used to work for, she was like, you don't usually find kids that want to work like at that age and just want to work. So I shoveled snow. I just always had multiple hustles at 10, 11 years old.
Your work ethic was there at a young age. You wanted to be a boss at a young age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've known you now maybe half my life. You know what I'm saying? And when I met you, I saw that in you. You know what I'm saying? The way that you moved, I always saw that. You always, you know, being on the block, hustling, we all been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's regular in the hood, especially from our era. Everybody did it in some type of fashion.
Yeah.
Everybody did it. Whatever it was, whatever your hustle was, everybody did it. You know what I mean? But you always, it was different with you. You know what I'm saying? And coming from that, doing all that, of course, the bad come with the good shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did time. You know what I mean? Them Fed boys, you mess with the Fed boys. You know what I'm saying? Your experience with that, tell me a little bit about that.
You know, it's funny that you said that because I always felt like hustle, you know, during my career of hustling and being in the streets, I always felt like the feds was going to be the one that locked me up. I felt like the state couldn't handle me, the city couldn't handle me, because as you know, you've been around me. I have multiple over 30 arrests, but I always had the best lawyer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Every time I got arrested, I always had the best lawyer, and they used to always get me off, like, you know, and after a while, I just felt like they couldn't do nothing with me because either, you know, I had a black attorney that nobody really knew about. You know, everybody knew about the Paul Bergens, the Michael Robbins, but I had a black lawyer, And I met him because if you remember, Lou the cop that used to be he used to own the store on the block.
Rest in peace, Lou.
So he that was like my uncle as we got older. But when I first met him, I was getting arrested so much, and I was getting bailed right out. Bailed right out. He used to be like, "Yo, man," I was like 19, 18. He was like, "Yo, what are you going to court? You got 6, 7 charges. You ain't got a lawyer." I'm like, "Nah, well, I don't know nothing about a lawyer." You know what I'm saying? Everything was off the learning by I didn't have nobody to mentor me. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he gave me a card. It was like, "Call this lady right here. This is my lawyer." Her name was Darrell King, which is Sonny aunt. Oh, this is how I got to meet Sonny. This is Sonny aunt. Yeah. And her husband was David Brantley.
Shout out to Sonny.
Yeah, her husband was David Brantley. He used to be the head judge in East Orange. He the one hired Watson, Booker, all the females that worked behind it. Mr. Brantley hired all of them when he was the head judge.
Okay.
So now he was former retired. So she used to handle all of my cases in high court. He handled all my cases in low court. So being that he used to be a former judge, he know the prosecutors, he know everybody. So a lot of times I can't even know. I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna say, but she was like one of the fiercest. Like, to be honest with you, Paul and them had the names, but like Forrest, like straight animal. She was an animal. Like, she was like, they became a father figure. He became a father figure to me. She became a mother figure to me. It was the first one to buy me a suit when I was older. That was the reason I just had that belief that state couldn't rock with me, yo. Like, I was like, they was coming in beating joints off. I remember one time I was going to trial. I had like 6 arrests, and the judge had told me, if you get locked up one more time, I'm revoking all your bails. So we was going to trial, and I was like, and I'm in court, and I'm still hustling while I'm on trial, right. And I had brought some work around, and they didn't know, the police didn't know it was my brother Gator, and they was out there. I'm on trial. They out there. I pass them to work. I jump in the van. They try to pull the van over. I told my man, "Don't you stop this van." And he kept going. The next morning when I got to court, task forces in court waiting for me with a warrant for my arrest, because they seen when I passed the package off, my brother got caught with it was like 200 bottles or something like that. So the prosecutor was going through whatever he was going through. Then he looked, and it was like, "By your way, Your Honor, we have an arrest warrant for him." I'm like, so I'm at the defense table, and I'm like, yo, she like hit me in the ribs with her elbow. I was like, "Straighten up. Don't you ever show no signs of weakness in here." So I straightened up. I was like, "Oh shit."
She put you in your toes real quick. She put you in your toes real quick.
I'm like, "Oh shit." It kind of messed me up, like when she did it. And we left, and she asked the court, she was like, being I'm an officer of the court, can you set the bail for him right now? I'm gonna drive him up to East Orange, fingerprint him, set the bail. So they set the bail for me right there. We paid the bail. She drove me to East Orange, fingerprinted me. They let me go. They was mad because they wanted to leave me out in handcuffs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But she was like one of the fiercest, bro. She was like Paul and them. And I had Paul, had Mike Robbins, but she was fierce, man. And I just felt like the state couldn't handle me. If I ever was going to jail, it had to be the feds.
So, like, with that mentality, like, you just felt as though you could do anything. Because you was getting over so much, you could do anything.
Yeah.
So when the Alphabet Boys came into play, that's something totally different.
Yeah, that's a different animal.
That's totally different. Yeah. So, like, your emotion, where was they at then? Like, how was you feeling then? Like, because that's something different.
I didn't have them in my life at the time. Mm-hmm. When the feds came, what happened was, going back to what I was saying, we was in court. And so when we left, we went up to her office, and she says to me, "Go home, give me $3,500. At that point, I'm maybe like $100,000 out of my pocket from all the cases I had. You know what I'm saying? At that point. Yeah. So she was like, "Go home, give me $3,500. So I'm like, "Oh, yo, dang. Like, believe me." So she was like, "I got him." I'm like, what you mean? She said, I'll tell you tomorrow. Just bring it, go get the
35 after she got him.
Yeah. She's like,
she got him now.
So she was like, I got him. So I'm like, so I go get the 3,500. I meet at the office the next day. She said, look, the prosecutor supposed to give us this discovery. I can't remember how many days before we start trial. They had just gave it to her.
Right.
So on technicality, they can't do that. They had to give it to her a certain amount of days. So
right.
When we go to court the next day, now when you go on a trial, you got a bunch of cases. The prosecutor always gonna have their strongest case first, because that's their strongest. They need to get you right then and there. So she says to the judge, she said, Your Honor, prosecution on the case such and such, such, she supposed to have the discovery. We supposed to have all the discovery 30 days before. We just got it 3 days ago. That's a violation or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't know the law. Whatever. She was like, and we asking for a dismissal. And if you don't grant it, she told him, I'm going to the court above you. So they called a sidebar. They went in the back of the chambers. She came back out. She was like, all right, they want to recess it to tomorrow. So we get on the elevator. She was like, look, they came back with a plea, 180 days. They're going to drop the rest of the charges. You plead to, I forgot whatever that is, you're going to do 180. That's when I went to Caldwell. Right. That's 97, that's 96.
Right.
I played. So before sentencing, this is how I got my GED, because I had dropped out. She was like, look, I want you to go back before you go to sentencing, go to Essex County College, go get your GED. And I went back and got my GED. I went to our office every day, studied for like 2 months while I was waiting to go to get sentenced, and got my GED. But when I came home from Caldwell, they was trying to turn my life around. Because like I told you, she was one of the top lawyers in the state. Judge Brantley was, he was a lawyer, but they had so many connections. So he was like, so she was like, listen, Amari, she was like, man, we love you like a son. We just want to see you do better. They was like, you're so smart and intelligent, you don't have to do what you're doing. She was like, so Mr. Brantley was like, yeah, if you want a job at the water department, I call over to the director right now and get you hired. So Ms. King was like, look, she said, if you want to go back to school, I'm going to send you to college and you be a paralegal in my office.
Nope.
I didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to sell drugs.
So why didn't you want to, like, if you had that chance to do it, why didn't you want to do it? Because that was a way out.
It was a way out.
A legal way out where you're not going to get in trouble no more?
It was two things. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to leave Flop, which is my right-hand man.
My man.
I didn't want to leave him in the streets because I knew I couldn't take him with me, because I could eventually come back and get him, but I couldn't take him with me. And then two, I just love selling drugs, man. Like, I just loved it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I like...
To put it in a nutshell, okay.
That was my... I woke up every day. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do nothing else but that.
All right, let me. I want to throw a name out there, and because I want to get your reaction, because I haven't heard this name in a long time, like really a long time, and I haven't heard you say it in a long time. Still Click. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I wanted to get. That's what I wanted to get. Still Click. So, tell me about Still Click.
Well, as you know, block we call Still Click 153rd William Street, right?
Exactly.
So originally William Street, when I came out there, I'm from 19th Street in William, and my man Buck, he was hustling on Grove Street. He took me to Grove to start hustling. So one of my childhood friends, Black Rick, we played baseball, childhood friend. I never knew that he used to be, while we was all on Grove Street, he used to be on Grove Street too. I never knew that he used to be hustling in front of his house too, which was down the street in front of 153rd. What we call 153rd now was 153 William Street. I didn't know he was hustling. So his little brother one day came to me and he was like, he said, you got some work? And I'm gonna give you, at that point, I'm like maybe 15 years old. Maybe the most money I probably made at that point was maybe $400 a day hustling at that point. Like nobody would show me how to get to New York to get a plug.
Right.
You know, I'm buying clips off everybody. Nobody would show me. So he was like, yo, you got something?
Clip work.
Yeah. So he was like, you got something? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what you got? I said, I got maybe like 20 clips. He was like, all right, give it to me. I'm gonna buy them all off you. I'm like, you gonna buy them all off me? He was like, yeah. So he was like, come down the street. Now, mind you, I told you, I never knew they was hustling in front of the house. I come down the street, the 20 clips, he sold in like an hour. Now, I'm 15, he maybe 13, 14.
Right.
So he sold them like an hour, 200 bottles. I'm like, oh, it might take me a whole week to do that. He sold it in an hour. I'm like, yo, what y'all got going on down here? He was like, man, we've been down here. Everybody, you know, we be up there, but the whole time we rocking down here too. He was like, you want to come down here? I said, heck yeah. So he showed me first plug I ever got. They take me to New York, 157 Broadway. Anybody that's out there, back then, this is 87, 87, like, it was the Jerry Curl boys. The kids called the Jerry Curl boys. Like they went to the Fed. They was police. They was everything. That was our plug, Raphael. Yeah, that was our plug. When he was like 15 years old, that was our plug and shit.
I checked them out a couple times.
Yeah, that was our plug. 157 from Broadway. That was our plug.
One with the police heavy too.
So I go to New York, take the $2,000. He bought the whole joint from me. And rock, and back then, you know, 2,000, you'll make 8,000 off 2,000 back then in the 80s. You'd spend 2,000, you make 8,000. Came back, banged the 8,000 like 2-3 days, went back up, flipped that, went to Petlet Square, bought me a Sherlock, bought me some Jordan. Yeah, bro. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of, and mind you, like I said, we gonna go back to as a kid, selling lemonade, working at grabbing groceries. Right. That hustle that I had already was made for what I was doing in the drug game. Right. So I never spent money like that. You know what I'm saying? So from there, it just took off, bro. Like literally, I'm telling you, I was selling I'm struggling selling making $300-$400 a day. I'm struggling doing that. People, they running circles around me.
Right.
$300-$400 a day to in 2 weeks, I'm maybe making $5,000 a day at 15 years old.
All right. So, with that hustle at that age, we're going to spin it to where we at. You know what? I'm not going to take
Hold on. Because you asked a question, I don't want to throw you off, but it's still quick. So I brought that story up to say, I'm sorry. I brought that story to say that's how I started on the block. And then Rick saying something to me, and he was like, yo, let's get down together. So we got down together. We started building up everything. So as I started coming into my own, and, you know, we getting older, and we come into my own. So, Flock, I didn't know Slash at the time. I knew his brothers and his cousins because, you know, Columbia, we used to go to the swimming pool in Columbia, and they used to be the Barry boys. So they used to always, you had to pass that house, and it was like 40 of these jokers. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know how you have a whole crew of just cousins. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They was fighting everybody trying to go to the pool.
The whole family.
So they was on 4th Avenue, and they was doing what they was doing. So Flock, my grandmother used to babysit Flock when he was a kid. He lived on the corner of 19. Right. I can't think it was like 115 19th Street. I lived at 91. My grandmother used to babysit his whole
It was right there on the corner of 19.
So Ort always knew Ort. My grandmother used to babysit Ort. Okay. So they was on 4th Ave. So they started coming around there, but they was always doing stupid stuff. Like, they wasn't getting no money. They was just doing ignorant stuff. And I was like, yo, bro, what are y'all doing?
They was definitely running around doing a lot of crazy shit.
They were like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, we get money. Like the shit y'all doing, I'm like, nah, we don't do that. Like,
but they was young.
We gotta get
They was younger,
actually. We get money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I started trying to groom them to get away from the stupid and just get money. So that's how I started. They was still handlers, trying to come out with a rap group. Right. And as we all collectively, everybody started, it was like a family came together, come around, your brother came around, Mo came back up from Elizabeth Avenue, right. Suave came around from 19. Right. So we just started collectively forming like a Voltron, and eventually the Still Handlers, we became Still Click because we was the crew around the Still Handlers. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's how the Still Click got formed.
So Okay, let me take it here because you even at a young age you was doing a lot. You was moving around a lot of circles that was big. You took your own money, went on tour. Like nobody really doing that. Like nobody was doing that then like that. Like taking their money and going on tour. Like you went on tour with Naughty, right? You went around. You was doing your thing, and then you. At some point in time, this party promoter persona hit you, and because you've been doing this party promoting thing for a long time, and I say like the #1 promoter in Jersey, hands down. I say that hands down, like from my perspective. You understand what I'm saying? You do it big. You bring a lot of people to the town. You bring a lot of DJs and acts. You bring them to the town, and you always have a great event. Like, what pushed you to that?
Well, it was going back to, Orton, I'm trying to rap, Still Handlers, me trying to get them on, me trying to get them a record deal. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really know about the business like that. So, Naughty, they was always my big bros. They watched me grow up. So what actually really happened was I started rocking with Vader in them first. Like far as that's OCM for everybody that don't know, that's OCM.
All right.
Vader, Kilo, the guys that wrote and produced Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, who actually wrote it and produced it. You know what I'm saying?
I had to really get the chain for it.
Yeah. So I actually came up under them in the studio, learning in the studio under Vader.
Right.
So Vader had a bunch of groups at the time, and we was part of them, but we made like 2 records. Like the first 2 records we made with him, them joints was Reckon with the Still and Knots Landing.
Yep.
We let everybody hear this joint, and they was like, "Yo, this shit ready to go now!" Like you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I learned from them how to make records. How to produce, having the sound of what's a hit record, just being around them. This back when Vader, he was dying to be under KG. That's all he wanted to do. We just talk about. That's all he wanted to do under be under KG. So I was like, it was Live. Live was from Newark. Live was the money for Kilo, and I was the money for Vader at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I used to put all the bread up for Vader. Latif, he passed away, rest in peace. He used to put all the money up for Kilo because Live was from Howard Street.
Right.
And he used to have all the money for Vader. And what's crazy is, so from there, when they came out with OCM, Watch How You Sling, a little friction that happened between Vader and Slash, which severed the relationship.
Right.
So from there, it was like, I'm like, damn, how can I get these jokers on? I never knew nothing about no parties. I was like, you know what? I'm a rent a spot. I ain't know nothing about renting no venue. This was 1995. I ain't know nothing about renting no venue. I said, yo, if I could get artists and let them open up, I can create a wave as I'm bringing these artists in. They can hear them and they're like, yo, they dope. Boom, boom. So that's how it all started. So I had went and rented Sir Rich's. I didn't know what I was doing.
Damn,
rented Sir Rich's. I didn't know what I was doing. Got Duck Down. I don't know who gave me the number to Buckshot Shorty. And I shot to New York. And this was back in the day. This is 95. You said to go to the labels and pay them when you wanted them to perform. Right. So you go to the label, and you meet them at the label, pay the deposit. This at the labels, pay the deposit. So when I went to go, it was Smith & Wesson I had booked, right? Is that what?
I believe it was Smith & Wesson.
So,
oh wait, was it Smith & Wesson or was it, it wasn't,
It was Smith & Wesson. It was Smith & Wesson. Yeah, it was Smith & Wesson, because they had this song, how that song go, you know, to my,
not La Schmoove.
No, they had the record, I can't remember the record, but it was something with a rock, right? So, Buckshot Shorty must have seen that when I'm talking to him, he must have seen I didn't really know what I was doing. So he called me in his office, like, yo, come here, let me holler at you. He was like, how long you been doing it? I'm like, that's the first time I'm doing it. So he started schooling me. He in the office, me and him sitting down, he was like, yo, as black men, we gotta, give up game and everything. So he started telling me about how the party promotion is, how sponsors. He started giving me this game, like, and I ain't know nothing about this game. He started giving me this information. So I give him the money. We booked the joint. The day we about to do the joint, 3 hours before the show, snowstorm, blizzard, storm, like record-breaking snowstorm. Like, it's like, I'm talking about this joint. This joint coming down like, this is a real blizzard. So he hits me like, yo, like I told you, I didn't know how to do what I was doing. He hitting me like, yo, you still want us to do this? You still want us to come? So I'm thinking I'm gonna lose my money if I don't come. I don't know that you can cancel it and we could rebook the date. I don't know this.
For a further date.
I want y'all to come. Bro, it's like 100 people here, bro. I done lost my bread. I forgot the store downtown. I got the Coogee on. Coogee like 600, 700 back then or something like that, right? I got the crispy Timbs on. I got the leather trench with the fur on it. The trench was like 1,300. I got like 3,000 outfit on, right? Not counting the money I done lost with them. Smoke coming out my ears. I'm like, why just cancel it, right? They come, they perform, 100 people. So back then, Tretch was messing with Pep at that. That was his girl.
Yeah.
And Pep was like, don't worry about it. She was like, look, 100 people came out of the snowstorm.
Right.
Imagine, but you know, when you lose your money, you don't want to hear that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like, yo, 100 people came in a snowstorm.
That ain't adding up to what
they adding up. So,
what you put out.
That was my reason of starting, my beginning of starting parties.
So, all right, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. All right, I want to talk about this. It's a picture, you in it, mask. For those that don't know, you need to get up on it. You know what I mean? You got Fabian in the picture, and you also got Suge Knight.
Yeah, that was a crazy night right there.
Tell me about it.
So that picture actually was the picture they used on Gangland for the Double I Gangland.
Exactly.
That was a picture that the feds was one of the pictures the feds used to help indict them under their charge to really connect that we was tied to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And that picture was the night Suge had just came home from jail. Remember he had got the time after when the Tupac incident happened, and he stomped the motherfucker out in Vegas. He had got the time for it.
Because he was on probation.
He was on probation, so he got the time. So that picture, he was just home like for 2 days. So he was coming home. He had just came home, so he was flying out here to do the Angie Martinez interview in New York, right? So I get the call, yo, Suge in town, we got to hold this nigga down. So I'm like, all right. So I hit my peoples up like, yo, Suge, we got to hold this joker down. Like, you know, he fresh out of jail after the whole Biggie got killed while he was away. Right. Like, it's still tension. There's still a lot of tension. Right. He back on New York. He back in New York. He on Angie promoting that Suge. So it's like, you know, it's the tension is still heavy, right? So I'm like, I hit my people's like, yo, we got to go hold. I got the call. We got to hold Suge down. So I called jokers up. We load up. We strap up. Load up. We shoot the Hot 97. Wait for him outside Hot 97. He come out. He hollering at my peoples who told us we got to come over here and that put the phone call into me. They topping it up. We outside waiting for him. We get in the car. He get in his limo. We leave. We pull up. At this point, I ain't know where we was pulling up to, but we pulled up to a studio, as I know now. We pull up. They jump out. It was like, yo, we come going inside. We be right back out.
Right.
So we outside posted up. NYPD start coming out of nowhere, everywhere. Imagine now we strapped. We got AKs, everything on us.
Right.
We like 4 cars deep. So I'm like, yo, they got us all like, you know, we in front. They boxed us all around and everything. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Yo, next thing you know, you see Suge and Tretch coming out. So I'm like, so the police grabbed Suge. So Steve Stout come running out.
Right.
Like, nah, they good, everything good.
But why did they grab Suge? Like,
I'm gonna get into it.
Okay.
So Steve Stout tell the police, no, everything good, they good. So the police like, you sure? We just got a call. He's like, nah, everything is good, So police let him go. We all jump in the car. We take off. We pull over at the gas station. Remember, used to be a gas station when you go to the Lincoln Tunnel. There used to be a gas station right on the corner before you go to the Lincoln Tunnel.
Yeah,
we all pulled to that gas station. So I'm like, yo, bro, what was that about? So he was like, yo, man, this nigga Suge is off the hook. I'm like, what? He was like, yo, he said, Trench ain't know what he was going to do, right? He goes in he get the call that Steve Stout and the Trackmaster's in the studio. Now, I think he felt like Steve Stout had something to do with him losing his deal with Interscope while he was locked up.
Right.
Or whatever the situation was. He said this dude comes and smacks one of the Trackmasters. Wow. He takes off running. Whoa, smacks Steve Stout. Wow.
Wait a minute. He smacks one of the Trackmasters.
Yeah, he takes off running. Wow.
And then he
smacks Steve Stout. Right? That's somebody in the studio must have called the police. Right? That's why the police coming. So I'm like, he did what? Like, so I'm tripping. I'm like, yo. So Checks keep telling him, like, yo, man, you got to come to Jersey, meet my homies, man. You got to come to Jersey. He was like, all right. He was like, yo, if I'm coming, we got to go to the strip club. So I'm like, now it's like 1:07 in the morning. I'm like, Jersey strip clubs on a week, they close at 2.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I know he just trying to get him to Jersey. So I'm like, all right, I'll find something. So we pull on, we come to Jersey, we follow Corrupt with him too. Corrupt never gets out the limo. The whole time he never gets out the limo because I think he just seen so much red that he was just like, I don't know if these jokers gonna trip on me.
I'm gonna let him do
he never got out the limo,
right.
Yo. So, and I didn't even know he was in the limo until we had got to the strip club and I looked in the limo and I see he was in here. I didn't even know he was there. So we pulled on 18. This is how Mass and all of them, Mass and them was in New York with us. This is how they came to be a part of the picture. So when we got to 18, everybody started putting the phone calls in. Yo, Suge on 18, Suge on 18. So everybody started coming. Whoa. So I'm like, at that point, I already knew the hood was burning up hot. So I'm like, yo, man, we got to get up out of here. We can't be sticking around. I don't know who taking pictures. Like, yo, we got to be out. So I hit my man, like, yo, this is how we ended up the strip club on Crystal's on Clinton Avenue.
Right.
I hit my man, I'm like, yo, I tried to get, I tried to go to World Paradise, but it was closed.
Damn.
So then I tried to go to, what was the joint up the street? World Paradise, that was by Hess gas station. That strip club. We tried to go there, that was closed. So Crystal's was open. So we pulled up in front of Crystal's, and it was like, maybe like 2:10. Chicks is coming out with they little rolling bag. They coming out
with their luggage.
Their luggage. They check out. They coming out with their luggage. So I jump out of the car. I go to the door. I tell security, I'm like, yo, I got Trench and Suge Knight with me, yo. I said, we trying to come in. I said, only way we coming in. I said, we all strapped. We all got to come in with the guns. He was like, I said, that's the only way we gonna come in. I said, we gonna spend money. I said, but everybody's strapped and we don't, and that's because at that point, at that point it's 90, it's 2000 and, it's early 2000s. It's 2002, I think. It's still gang central. It's still gang. And we are Irvington, and I know Irvington is Crip heavy.
Right.
So I'm a street nigga. All I'm saying to myself, all it takes is one phone call to the right person. Yo, Suge out here. Yo, Suge on Clinton Avenue. And all it takes
one person want to make a name.
That's it.
One person.
And if something happened to him on I watch while you over here,
and that's
can never go back to LA after that because it happened on our watch.
Right.
So there was no way we wasn't walking in there strapped up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Suge jumps out of the limo. So when the chick see them, chicks like, oh, they going crazy. They done blow they little shit. They running back in there. So the manager was like, all right, we're going to let you in there and get the owner. So they let us in. We locked the door. Bruh. We just started going ballistic in there.
If you could put a cap on how much money was spent that night.
It wasn't even money. to be honest with you, it was just like niggas was in there.
The ambiance?
Niggas was in there whipping. Like, niggas was in there whipping shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even
Man, going down.
Man, it was niggas was just niggas was just start whipping. Like, you see mama in the bathroom over here with this chick. Mama, it wasn't even no money thrown, bro. Like, chicks just wanted to get busy. Like, they wasn't even worrying about the money. They just trying to,
they just wanted to be on the scene.
Yo, word is born. So we stayed in there for a minute, maybe like an hour. And then we left, so we started taking the pictures. You know what I'm saying? And then we jetted out of there. We jumped on the highway, made sure he got back to New York to his hotel, and then we came back, man. But that picture right there was, that picture had solidified that we was tied in with the West to the feds over here. Yeah. It solidified, and that's how that was one of the.
So that wasn't necessarily in a good way. That
no, it was that picture was like it was like that stamp. It was like that, like, low.
Oh, these niggas is
we got to go get them.
They fucking with these niggas. We can get them.
Yeah. That's how the whole second generation. We lost the whole second generation.
All right, let me speed it up a little bit. So you. Like I said, to me, my personal opinion, are one of the top promoters in Jersey.
The top.
The top.
And
I've said the top before.
No.
You said it, so I'm going to say it.
No, I'm going to break it down to you, right? Because people always had this argument, right? Because, people always talk to me, security, different people. They was like, they always compare who really moving. And they be like, you got some people that, say I'm you got some people that say this person is this person is, right? And I explain to them, I break it down to them, and I say, right? Now, as far as concerts, SJ Presents is the top.
Right.
In the tri-state area doing concerts, Prudential Center, the Pack, Madison, the Hulu's, Martin Square Garden, Barclays, he's the top. But as far as clubs.
Do you see yourself there?
I've been seeing
at some point, do you see yourself there?
I feel like I'm way behind. Even though I'm doing my thing, I feel like I'm way behind because I know where I'm supposed to be at. But see, the thing is when I was doing parties the whole time, remember I was still hustling. I was doing parties and hustling. So I never took it 100% serious. 100%. Since I came on the feds, right. I took it, that was... Any joker that was in the feds with me, pardon me saying joker, any dude that was in the feds with me that I used to kick it with from anywhere in the country, they always say to me, they was like, yo, bro, you said this what you was going to go home to do. Because they was like, yo, what you going to do? Hustle me? I'm like, hell no, I ain't selling it. I ain't committing another crime. Like I said, I'm going full-fledged parties. The only thing I know how to do is sell drugs and do parties. Them the only things that come easy to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Without doing the work because I done did it so long. I know it's like it's like losing weight, right? If you lost weight before and it took you 6 months and lost 50 pounds, you know the tricks to losing in 3 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like it's easier as you go. So I break it down and I try to tell them I break it down like this, right? I say for clubs, right? I said, name one other promoter that do the venues I do. From around Edgewater, these white people ain't letting y'all come up here. The Avenue A Club, the Car Museum, these is multi-million-dollar venues.
Right.
That me, as a black person, that these people was letting me inside, they let me have a venue in suburban areas. You know what I'm saying? So, $100 tickets. Who's selling $100 tickets consistently? 800 to 1,200 people consistently.
Right.
Who's selling 300 bottles when they do a big show? Who's walking in the venue with $60,000, $70,000 in bottle sales? I don't need the whole Wu-Tang Clan. It's just me or somebody else partying on me. If you see when dudes do big shows, right, it be 5, 6 promoters. You don't see that on. I don't need 5, 6, bro. I'll shake ass by myself.
Right, I've seen it.
You know what I'm saying?
I've definitely seen it.
They ain't selling $3,000 tables, $4,000 sections. The clientele, but the quality of clientele,
even with all that, it's still hold on. It's still a headache at some points, right?
Everything is a headache. Anything you do in life is going to be a headache. Right. You know what I'm saying? When you get into it, you know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with multiple personalities and multiple people. Go out of state in the middle of the pandemic. I did a joint in Atlanta. Sold it out. Sold it out a month before I got on the plane. Mm-hmm. The whole venue was sold out a month before I got on the plane. Did MetLife Stadium with the top promoters in New York and New Jersey. 6 of us, the top in New York and New Jersey, the top. MetLife Stadium put 4,000 in there, and I sold the most. I was the second most tickets out of everybody. Now we on a bill with heavyweights,
right?
Like, for one, New York is the Big Apple. You could put Manhattan, you could put Jersey inside of Manhattan,
right?
So now I done went up against the heavyweights, and I was number 2 in sales against the heavyweights in New York. Mm. Politically connected. Came home, met the president, went back in the prisons with attorney Paul Fisherman. Got a government contract for speaking engagements.
Talk about that a little bit, because when you came home, you didn't like that last time coming home. It wasn't like, all right, I know all you knew was the hustle. Mm-hmm. But that last time, it wasn't about the hustle when you came home. It was more about hustling in a different form to make yourself better.
Because what I seen. Now, mind you, I'm in the feds. I'm locked up with everybody. How many states in the United States? 51, 52? Mm-hmm. How many states? 51, 52. I'm locked up with dudes from all over. I'm locked up with vice lords, Nietas, Mexican mafia, dirty white boys, biker gang, Chinese mafia, Yakuza, Japanese Yakuza, right. Muslims, 5%ers, everybody that's in America that's a criminal. Russian gangsters.
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot, bro. So I'm in here with everybody. So what I'm seeing in this transition, that the game is dead, it's over. And I'm saying what I'm saying is because we're gonna go and say it's a game, right? You can't play a game that you can't win. You can't win in this game.
It's a never-ending game. It's a never-ending game.
You know what I'm saying? For one, all right, coming up when we was in the streets, right? It was about you know the code of ethics. You ain't supposed to do this. You ain't supposed to rat. You ain't supposed to do that, right? That just come with it, right? You don't get no medal for not telling. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get no medal. You don't get a medal. So one of the main reasons why dudes used to be scared to tell when they wanted to tell was why? Because you're gonna get crushed in prison. So now you ain't getting crushed in prison like that no more. Now dudes is sitting down eating with a motherfucker, knowing you just your homie done got 20 dudes, 100-something years, you still making hookups with them. Right? This ain't just one state, this is everywhere. The Muslims don't even check paperwork when they come in, because if he Muslim, so me, I was under the Muslim card, but I used to tell him, like, listen, bro, I'm not helping him. If somebody come in here that he done told on, y'all got me twisted. I ain't helping them. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that it was over around the country, right? I'm seeing dudes doing Rule 35. Rule 35 is, you my man, I'm locked up 20 years. You my man. I tell you, yo, line some jokers up. I need you to line some jokers up out there. You line 4 or 5 jokers up, you can bring me home. That's what the Rule 35 is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I got jokers working to get me home, knock time off my time by setting dudes up. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that yo, bro, everybody though, man, it's only 1 or 2 real rights gonna hold you down. I don't care what you done for your homies out here. Your homies gonna forget about you, bro. There's only gonna be 1 or 2 real rights that's gonna hold you down, make sure you good. Like, bro, we always talk about these females don't be holding it down. And we ain't fucking with when they come home. These dudes don't be holding it. They don't be standing tall. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. With dudes that stand tall, they don't stand tall with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I said, yo, it ain't what I'm used to. So it's like, I can't win in this game. So I gotta put my jersey in the Raptors. I don't even want to think what it feel like to even think about telling on somebody. So it's time for me to bow out gracefully.
But you're never gonna bow out because you
no, as far as the hustler. You're right,
but when
you know what I'm saying, the streets.
Your upside is what you're doing now, and like you go crazy with it. You bring the artists to the town, you bring the famous DJs to the town, and when you do a party, when you do a show, it's a sellout. Now, you've been doing that for a minute. You've been doing that for a nice minute. You do the Biggie tributes every year. You like your affiliation with Biggie. What made you start doing the Biggie tributes?
My relationship with Mr. C, and then Big, when we did the first Naughty tour in '95, we was out there with Big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was Rock Rascals, Naughty, SWV, Scarface, Ice Cube, Biggie, Junior Mafia, Lil Kim.
Vintage.
Like that was the first tour. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I got to see. Now this is when Big got One More Chance, Juicy. This is when Big scorching.
Right.
Like I'm seeing Cube. Cube, one of my favorite rappers.
Right.
Like Cube, top 5 to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Scarface, top 5 to me.
All right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, these is like, you know how you be on the block?
Yeah.
Man, I'm banging Scarface. Nigga, we banging Q. We banging Pac. What was the Outlaws? Not the Outlaws. Damn, what was the name of the group he had? Pour Out a Little Liquor album and all that.
Pour Out a Little Liquor. What?
Thug Life. This what we banging. MOP. We banging the grimy shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. I seen him at his height. You know what I'm saying? On the road, I seen Lil Kim. Like we came up. We all came up together. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So that puts your loyalty into, in place with that. So you hold it down and you've been doing it every year. And I see like you and Mr. C rock with you.
Yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm gonna tell you the first time I ever booked Mr. C for an event was at what's the little joint on Main Street on William Street in East Orange that's shut down now. The little house
on top.
Bogies.
Bogies. The little house.
Hey, yo,
Bogies, the little house.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I booked them.
Shout out to Bogies.
That's when we doing the old school at noon. I booked them. So my man made a jersey for him. And, I went to give it to him, and I hit him, and his hand hit the joint, and it like message. The Joker shot this rock at me like. So I'm like, yo, my fault, bro. But he was just like, I'm like, oh, this nigga swell up on me, like. And my mom's like, I should sock this motherfucker. Like, yo, word up. Like, C, I love you. But I'm like, I should sock C. Like, C was ignorant as hell back then. He was ignorant as hell.
No,
Mr.
listen,
C was ignorant, bruh.
Mr. C,
Brooklyn nigga.
A funny story, like, at your birthday party, me and the team, we ran down on him in the hallway, on the steps. And, Gotti, you know how Gotti is. When we was coming down the stairs, Mr. Morgan, I don't know if you remember, I think Gotti said, there you go right there, let's get him. Let's get him now.
He was playing?
And, no, he was saying, let's get him. Let's get him the shot.
Give him the shot.
But look, Mr. C, he stepped back, he started looking. Like, what? Like, and we like, oh, all right, I'm going in my back pocket, but I'm getting the microphone. Yeah. I'm not getting that. Like, I'm getting the microphone, but it was like, that was, yo, that shit was so funny.
Yeah, he thinks
because he was looking at first, like he was in the corner. There's nothing he could do.
Yeah.
He in the corner though. But then after he seen what we was doing, he was more receptive. He was like, oh yeah, boom, and then was like, all right, cool, yeah, this, that, and the third. But that was funny, and I've seen y'all relationship go like a long time now. You know what I mean? And now your new venture. Was going your new venture with Vin Rock, with the Slugger joint going on. Tell me a little bit about that.
To be honest with you, bro, that's like, I'm always transparent. You know what I'm saying? Like, we supposed to been doing that. Like, I used to be in the ear like, yo, bro, agree. Like, y'all supposed to be the ambassadors in New Jersey.
But some people don't see it right away. Some people don't see it right away. Like, you've been putting in a whole lot of work.
So, but I'm gonna be totally transparent with you, right? So, when I first came home, my money wasn't right, man. I'm trying to get everything back right. And you got to think about it. I did a whole 360 degrees transformation, right? As far as my crowd, right. So before I left, I'm on some street shit. I'm doing strip clubs. I'm doing hood shit. Like, nigga, like I'm used to be in taboos with a chinchilla on, right? And that's the real shit, bro. Like, I used to, when I got locked up, I used to be like, yo, like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Like, real shit, bro. I used to be like, you sit back and you think about this shit, bro. I used to be like, yo, what the fuck was wrong with me, bro? Right. Like, it's like dangling steak in front of motherfucking pit bulls, bro. Like, it's like, I'm getting too much money to be around somebody that ain't getting the money I'm getting. Right. I'm like, I don't even supposed to be doing this shit, bro. I ain't supposed to put my life on the line like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it can happen to anybody. And when you moving out here and you moving, you just moving. But when you sit down and you start reflecting on shit, I'm like, yo, man, I was bugging. Like, some of these spots I used to be in, like, we used to be going to New York. My man hit me like, yo, where you at? I'm like, I'm on Stratford. They be like, I'm like, man, fuck with this chick. so I get in the car, they be like, fuck you doing down there?
Right. That's not somebody's supposed to be in. That's not somebody's supposed to be in.
Coming through the hallways like 5 a.m, like mink coats on Stratford, like jewelry up. Like, I'm sitting back, man, I'm thinking about something, I'm like, yo, I'm bugging. But to get back on, then I'm like, that's something that we supposed to been done, because when I'm trying to, maneuver, I'm trying to get my money up, I'm doing 360. So now when I come home, I know I'm on a path of, I ain't no street dude no more. I can't act like I'm a street dude. Right. To be having a street crowd, you got to be in the streets. Because street people only respect motherfuckers that's active. You know what I'm saying?
When you first come home and people looking at you, they looking at, but no, the person that
you got to convince them.
Right. You got.
They don't believe you.
Exactly.
So it took years let me explain something. What dudes get a misconception on. Pac always told us, you do it for the females, the dudes won't follow. So I never do it for dudes. I do it for the females. Because the females is one. With anything you're doing, if you ain't got the females rocking with you, you ain't got nothing.
Right. Because the dudes won't follow the females.
So I had to convince the females that I changed. That I was a different person. Because you could talk that, but they gonna see it in actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to convince the females.
It's easier to convince the dudes. The females is the
not even that, because dudes
look at you with the side eye a little.
No, not even that, because dudes thought I was faking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they thought I was faking. They thought I was faking. I'm like, man, this nigga coming up with this stuff.
That same voice.
Bro, my man from I went back into Farrington, and I had seen my man from the Georgia King Village. So I'm speaking on the panel, right? Kicking it. So they wouldn't let me talk. I see my man YB. I was down Fort Dix with, but they wouldn't let me interact with them. So when he came home, he was like, "Yo, I see you up there faking." And he thought I was really faking. I'm like, brother, I ain't faking. This shit real.
Yeah, right.
This shit I'm doing.
He wasn't convinced.
Then he had joined the program, and I used to come to the program. I already had graduated the program, and they used to say to me, they used to be like, yo, Suge, you graduated, why you still be coming down here? And I'm explaining to him like, yo, bro, this is the highest level of government. I said, anything in life is about building, nurturing relationships. Like, anything in life is about relationships. I said, these people is the highest form of government. Right. I said, you never disassociate yourself with them, because you never know when you're gonna need them. Right. You make these relationships grow. You water these plants, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Vern, you probably know Vern Pullers and shit.
Yeah, that's
ran for council. All right, boom. So
that's my guy.
He brought me on to help him with the financial side, his finance committee. So we up at Mayweather Farms in West Orange for the Democratic meeting. I'm thinking just a Democratic meeting for East Orange.
Right.
We sit in the room. When we finished, they bust the doors open. Wow. I'm like, what is this? It was like, I told you, Democrat. So it's the whole Democratic Party in Essex County inside joints from every city. So I'm like, oh. So we walking through. They deep. There's about 1,000 people in here. At the corner of my eye, I see a female running. She like Amari. I turn around. I'm like, oh, what you doing? She was like, Amari, what you doing down here? So I'm like, oh, I'm with my friend. We grew up childhood, I'm helping them run for councilman. Boom, 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 boom. So Vern said, Congresswoman. I said, Congresswoman? She like, yeah, Amari, when I left her, because she take it back a little bit. When I came home and I joined the federal entry program, she was one of the head prosecutors that was part of my program.
Right.
She left the prosecutor's office. I never knew because, like I told you, I graduated after a year, but I still was coming down there periodically, giving back.
Support.
Letting guys know that come home from prison that I'm a success story.
Right.
You can see it because one thing about dudes that when we commit crime all our life and we do the things we do and we try to change our life around, the scariest thing for anybody is, can we make it in the real world?
Right.
Because we so used to, fast money, everything fast.
It's hard for somebody to adjust to the regular life.
Because we don't know if we can make it in the real world with the rest of everybody else. Because when you look at it, they've been going to school all their life. They've been working. They got this different skill set. So we're like, damn, who gonna hire me with my jacket?
Right.
Who gonna hire me if I ain't really got limited skills?
It's the worry.
So how can I pay my bills, take care of my kids? Like, then you guys constantly, the homies that still trying to win you back in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you fighting so much, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she like, she was like, yeah, I ran for congresswoman and won. I'm like, wow. So she one of the ones that helped me when I came home. She called all the credit people saying that, got on the phone, said, I'm going to send you a federal letter over it. He couldn't possibly put nothing in his name. He was in federal prison from such and such, 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 such. Right. So she was like, take my number, whatever you need from me, boom. So when I walk away, Ted Green, the man said, Sue, how you know her? I was like, man, she was she was the federal prosecutor at my program. Man, she helped me. He was like, yo, we helped run a campaign. But nurturing relationships.
Right.
Nurturing relationships. I'm going to get deeper with that, right? You see what Kim Kardashian was doing when she was hollering at Trump?
Right, for the reform.
For the reform, getting dudes out of prison, right? I've done the same thing.
Right.
I got 2 dudes walked off of federal prisons free off of my relationships. They had, their case was up, 2 of their cases was up to be overturned for, I think it was the 2 points reduction and all that, whatever, but it was sitting on desks waiting. I came along, okay, boom, boom, boom. My relationships, look, such and such. 2 days later, sign. They home. Nurturing relationships.
Relationships, bridging that gap with a lot of things. Like, people don't understand when you bridge them gaps, you create relationships for life. If you really build and stand on what you're building, you know what I'm saying? And you've been an example of that for a long time, bro. Like, since I've known you, you've been a stand-up dude. You've always been a dude that a person could call personally. You know what I'm saying? Chop it up with. You give good advice to people. You when you speak is motivation. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. That's really dope about you. And you also give dope parties. You know what I'm saying? Like you just had your 50. You know what I'm saying? You're half 100. That was a dope event. Street Fame was in the building.
Thank y'all for all the support and all the let me tell you something about with marketing, right? Every bit count.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every bit count because there's just more eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when y'all building y'all content and I'm part of y'all content, it's just opening me up to y'all fan base and the people that support y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So all of it counts, man. I tell people everything go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything.
Listen, like me and you, we've always had talks. We talk, you know what I'm saying? Or then we kick it and we chop it up, and it's always real conversation. And, I'm only a couple years older than you. I listen to you, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you give off that energy, you know what I'm saying? And if a person don't believe, you make a person believe. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people out there that's like that. Mr. Morgan is one of those people. I always say he gives good motivation off, you know what I'm saying? And, people like that are always going to win. Bro, like, you've been through a lot of things. Like, listen, I can take it back. I remember when you're the reason why I went to Master John's, because you went there and this nigga put a sideburn on you. Nigga, you didn't even have a sideburn. So he connected your sideburn off your baby hair. Niggas was gonna pay $25 for a sideburn back then. That $25 went a long way. Like, damn, $25, man. Yeah. Like, give me a $25 clip, I'm gonna sell that, and then you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, you've always been that person that you are now. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen you change up. I've never seen you switch. I've never seen you fold. You always stood on everything that you said. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. Street Fame appreciate that. Like I said, this is one of the ones that I really wanted to put in the can because you're
we
my
had
guy.
This one. Yeah.
You're my guy. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, anytime we could be a help to you, anytime you could be a help to us, it's appreciated, you know what I'm saying? And we there to rock with you, my guy.
Yeah,
you know
thank you, boy.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
Definitely. Like I'm saying, it's your boy Swift, another edition of Cut the Shit, powered by Street Fame. If we not in the building, we surrounding it. You gotta see us. My man NJ Soup came through to share the stories, share the time, and share the love. This is what we doing. This is what we always doing. Always rock with us. We gonna always rock with you. We out.
Peace. Thank you, my brother.
Amen.